Bruce Allen has spoken. Welcome back to Street Scores. It's your boy Rico giving y'all an off-season edition of Redskins Report. Today's topic, Reuben Foster possibly not suspended. Let's get it. Before I break down a lot of the facts we have in this case and my opinions on the matter, I want to provide y'all the little Senior Bowl press conference the Redskins president Bruce Allen had yesterday, which is the catalyst for this video and the discussion we're having today. This is actually Bruce Allen's first time ever addressing the Reuben Foster situation publicly. It's actually his first time speaking publicly since like June of 2018. So here it is, the slice of the almost 18-minute press conference that is concerning Reuben Foster and the Washington Redskins. It is about 2 minutes long, so feel free to skip to the timestamp I have placed on the screen to skip the interview if you either don't care or have already seen it.
Where do things stand with Reuben Foster right now?
Clearly, he cleared from Florida. The league is still finishing their investigation of it. We finished our investigation with it. He's working hard. He's healthy, and doing the things that we have mandated that he do in order to ever wear the burgundy and gold.
Do you still expect a suspension of some sort from the league, and where do you see him fitting in X's and O's on your defense?
Well, I think he'll fit in very well into our defense as a player. I don't know why we would expect a suspension, but we'll let the league finish it.
How did you evaluate the risk reward when you decided to claim him?
We discussed it. You know, we went back to the reports we had a year ago from him coming out of college. Think we had a good sense of who the person was, and did our own quick investigation of some of the facts that we had heard, and you know, we're fortunate that the outcome was what somewhat anticipated.
Why were you confident that that outcome was going to be that you were going to have a player that you could actually eventually put on the field?
Well, I'll just say we did our homework on what we had to do on the player himself, and we know a lot of people who know him, and we'll see. He still has a ways to go in order to get on the football field, but right now he's doing everything correct.
In that statement, you indicated that you had talked to some of his Alabama teammates who are on the Redskins now, and many of them told us they had not spoken with you. Can you clarify that?
Yeah, we do talk to our players quite a bit. We don't want our players discussing what we discuss with them. We've talked to them about players in this upcoming draft, and they won't discuss it. We talked to people at Alabama. We talked to a number of people.
What was your investigation into Reuben's incident, and what did you mandate that he do? You mentioned that you...
Not going to get into what we investigated, but we felt comfortable that we knew the player. And I should say we knew the person involved. And Reuben has demonstrated since he's been with us that he wants to play football. He wants to do things the right way. He wants to be a valuable member, not only of the Redskins on the field, but off the field as well. And we'll see what happens with that.
What were some of the mandates that you all laid down for Reuben Foster in order to be a member of the team, to play for the team?
Well, we hold our players to a very high standard with the Redskins, and we ask for a commitment that goes beyond the 60 minutes of a football game, and Reuben understands what he has to do, and he's been doing it every day.
The main thing that I took from this video is the quote in which Bruce Allen said, "I don't know why we would expect a suspension, but the league will finish it." This is where all of the controversy comes into play, because nobody knows for sure whether or not Reuben Foster will be suspended by the league, or whether or not he will ever play for the burgundy and gold at all. And before I give my opinion on whether or not I feel he will be suspended from the league or not, let me lay out some facts for those who are not up to speed on this entire Reuben Foster situation and debacle. Reuben Foster, inside linebacker, was arrested November 24th, 2018 in Tampa Bay for domestic violence charges 6 days before my birthday, which was the last straw for the San Francisco 49ers, who released him after his arrest. Only 3 days later, Reuben Foster was claimed off of waivers by the Washington Redskins. Definitely noteworthy though, that the Redskins were the only team to place a claim on him. That was definitely a bad look for Dan Snyder in the game. Reuben Foster was then immediately placed on the reserve commissioner exempt list by the NFL, which prevents Foster from playing, practicing, or even attending games. He can be present for meetings, individual workouts, rehabilitation, therapy, and other non-football activities if the Redskins permit him to do so, but other than that, it's quiet for him. He will remain on this list until the NFL's investigation is considered complete and thorough. Only the commissioner, Roger Goodell, can take him off this list. Reuben Foster had also been previously charged with domestic violence after being accused of hitting Alyssa Ennis in another situation in California. This is the same girl in the Florida incident also. But this situation supposedly involved criminal threats and weapons. A judge ruled there were no probable causes for both cases after Miss Ennis recanted. Plus, the judge said there was no other evidence to support the charges. But later on, Miss Ennis said in an interview that she lied about recanting in order to save Reuben Foster's career. There's a lot of blurry evidence and confusion throughout these cases and this situation, and it's hard to point out any hard facts. And so now here we are. Bruce Allen at the Senior Bowl, in the video I just showed y'all, said that he believes Reuben Foster will not be suspended. He doesn't care to elaborate on why he believes Reuben Foster will not be suspended, but he does say it with some confidence and in an upbeat manner. He seems pretty optimistic about this possibility, but he did also say that the league will finish it, which is another way of saying that it's out of my hands and I can't control how the NFL will cast judgment. The NFL will do what they do, and Bruce Allen and anybody else in the Redskins organization cannot do anything but only possibly make the situation worse if they put their hands into it. But on a positive note, Bruce Allen said that Reuben Foster is doing everything the Redskins have required him to do. So in other words, Reuben Foster is behaving well and has shown he definitely wants to play football for the Redskins in 2019 and further. He is doing everything in his power to recover and move on from his cloudy past. Now the verdict from Rico. For me personally, as in Rico of Street Scores, I feel like he will be suspended. Too many factors pointing towards this decision. First of all, Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott was suspended for 6 games after never being convicted for domestic violence, just like Reuben Foster. You can't tell me he don't look like Chico Bean right there. The league investigated the case for over a year and did not find any hard evidence beyond the fact that the accuser filed police reports and pursued charges. Even without any hard evidence at all, and with a lot of resistance from Zeke's side, with all sorts of appeals and courts getting involved, the NFL still suspended Zeke for 6 games, as hard as Zeke did. But at least Reuben Foster's accuser has taken back her accusations once, but then she said she lied about taking it back in order to save his career. So it's a dark and confusing situation, and the league has shown that it will side on the air of caution lately and hand out suspensions, which leads to my second reason that Reuben Foster will be suspended. The NFL is growing more impatient, intolerant, and furious with domestic violence cases among its players and anybody else representing their brand, so they become more strict and relentless when it comes to handing out punishments. They may want to make an example out of Reuben Foster, even though he hasn't been convicted of anything. The NFL may want to further discourage domestic violence by excessively punishing somebody that wasn't even convicted of it. This can be because they actually care, or they just want to improve their public relations and view in the public eye. Either way, Reuben Foster may be suspended to prove a point and make the NFL look like they care. And the last reason I feel he will be suspended is because he has a cloudy past. First of all, he was caught with marijuana while in college. Even though this isn't a big offense, the charge was dismissed after he completed a first-time offender diversion course, and then he had more than one domestic violence situation. His past makes it a little hard to give him the benefit of the doubt. If there was some form of hard evidence like a video, then it would be over with for him. But even without that video, he has enough of a cloudy past, though not very cloudy, to convince the NFL to go ahead and hand out the suspension, especially since people are expecting it. And it would be bigger news if he were not suspended rather than if he were suspended, which would be a bigger PR battle. It would definitely be easier for the NFL PR-wise to just go ahead and give him 6 games or whatever they may give him. But even with all of these factors going against Reuben, it is very possible that he could not be suspended and can actually join the Redskins and participate in practices like minicamp and training camp and play game 1. I would be surprised a little, but not very. The NFL may be afraid of receiving the same hate and credibility strikes that they received for suspending Brady and Zeke without any real evidence. Now, I just told y'all how I feel, but how do y'all feel about the situation? Do you feel Reuben Foster will receive a suspension? Will he ever be removed from the reserve commissioner exempt list? Do you feel Reuben Foster deserves to be suspended? That's an interesting one. But that's it for this off-season episode of Redskins Report. Thanks for the view. I'm going to keep bringing y'all occasional updates on the Redskins throughout this entire offseason from December to August. This will include roster moves, draft prospects, scouting reports. I got y'all back. And while y'all at it, make sure y'all Dolomite fake punch that like button, favorite, subscribe, I'll subscribe back, and most importantly, comment and share. Make sure y'all get in them comments and let me know how y'all feel about this topic. And please subscribe if you haven't, very important. And again, thank y'all for the support. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.